So, I think it's time to try a contract. Confirm vector, confirm. I want to take Nia with me. I want to just see what she can do. Travel to contract. Hey Nia, we're going on a job. Let's test your luck. It's a drone. Seraphim spots the signal source first. The light barely shimmering off its dark hull plating. Design trait that betrays its covert use. A flash catches your attention. You see a rent in the hull, through which red light pulses. Wounded. Seraphim shakes his head. Wish they'd finished the job. You've seen one before? Seraphim looks back over his shoulder towards you. We've seen one before. Don't you? He sighs. Sorry. I know it isn't your fault. He looks at the drone. Lane had us work on one in the Darkside Bay, though it was barely a shell. Disarmed and deactivated, he had us searching through its guts for salvage. Even that one gave me the creeps, and its core ripped out. He pushes the ship closer. This one is still alive. Conway, Nia kisses her teeth. Corporate scum. You glance over at her and see the fire in her bright eyes. They don't even dare to come here and force us out themselves. It's all proxies and drones. She shakes her head. Typical corporate cowards. Run them before? She glances at you. You must say that. She looks out at the drone. You won't see me taking my eyes off that thing for a second. Seraphim carefully guides the ship closer. You watch the drone. The system is full of these things now, running missions for their operators. Rare to see one out in the belt, though. Maybe got hit during a run-in with Senate Sat Mercs. Looks like it's drifting. Most systems blown out. But look there. He jabs a finger towards the red light on the far side of the drone. It's still broadcasting. Maybe even receiving. How do we shut it off? Seraphim brings you even closer. What I remember from the Darkside job is that the central core in the broadcast array needs to be shut off to kill these things. The core will turn off local systems, and the broadcast array will sever the link with the Conway operators. Seraphim swallows. You can bet those systems are protected. Your attention is suddenly drawn by a shudder from the drone, like a tremor running along its length. This thing is rigged to blow, sleeper. He frowns. You go slow and careful. You don't touch anything we don't know about. He turns back to Nia. You hear that? I got you. She looks sincere. Seraphim brings the rig to a stop, close enough for you to cross through open space to reach the drone's hull. Let's suit up. You head down to the airlock to repair. As you get suited up, you think of the corporate war taking place in the inner system, the war that this drone was driven from. Out here, on the shore of the conflict, the biggest danger is that this flotsam and jetsam drifting in with the tides and orbits of the system might, one cycle, bring the war with it. For now, the belt is outside of its reach, but looking at that red pulsing drone doesn't give you much comfort. Welcome to your first contract. On a contract, you'll be able to assign 2 dice for each crew member, you would assign your own dice. Pay attention to the crew's skills. Use them effectively. On certain outcomes, crew will take crew stress. When their stress is full, you no longer be able to use them to perform actions. On a contract, your energy bar will automatically be supplied for each cycle you have available supplies. If your supplies are depleted, both you and your crew will take 1 stress per cycle. Contracts also have their own contract stress. When this bar is filled, the contract will fail. Good luck. Alright, so we have our own stress, we have our crew's stress, and then we have the stress of a thing that is set to explode. Alright, so it looks like pretty much I'm the only one that can reprogram the hatch to let us through. No one else has a good interface. So, and none of us are an engineer qualified to release the hatch, so that's not happening. With the drone in such a reactive state, ready to fry itself in defense, perhaps reprogramming the hatch to open up to your crew is the best approach. Alright, let's give it a go. Alright. What can I do with this one? We got some stuff that can work here. It might be possible to slip through the gap in the drone's damaged hull, but once inside, where to go? How to find the broadcast array. Right, Nia, I'm trusting you with that one. That was a fun one. Seems that the yellow cabling is part of the broadcast system. Following it may be the key. Alright, so with your door... give it a try. Whiffed it. Damn. Alright. I'm gonna use this. Just gain some stress. As your stress increases, you will have a higher chance of taking damage to your action dice each time you roll them. Okay. So I'm just gonna keep working on this. Ooh. During a contract, you use your push ability once per cycle to give you an edge in a tricky situation. Pushing accrues 1 stress will give you key advantages based on your chosen class. You can see your current push configuration if you hold your mouse over the button and on the character screen. Your push cannot be used at a hub. Without a hub, it can be upgraded and configured in the character screen. Okay. This is still our best bet, so start this action. Okay. Cannot recover stress while on a contract. Alright, I don't trust the rest of our dice enough to really do anything when this thing is set to blow. I'm just gonna end the cycle here. Ooh, got some good dice on this one. Alright. So I'm gonna just keep accessing the hatch here. Got some 5s, so this is gonna be good. Hey! Perfect. The drone shifts. Something has changed. You hear the beeping immediately. Among the chambers and cabling of the drone's interior, something has started counting down. Guys? Nia's voice comes hissing through the suit's comm channel. Anyone else hear that? Because I'm getting nervous. Shit. Seraphine's voice joins her. This is what I was worried about. Are we screwed? I can't be sure. Seraphine has dropped his voice to a whisper, that might make a difference. This thing is about to send out a distress call, it's about to blow. We've got to shut the system down fast. He pauses. And move on to the other side, because I bet you there's a surprise waiting for us there too. We good? Nia sounds tense. Am I heading back to the ship or what? Seraphine cuts in. We're good. We keep going. He shuts off the channel. Take a moment in the silence. Alright, time to deal with this fast. And get over to the other side before something happens. Control system. Disconnect the backup. So we need Intuit for this, which is exactly what we have you for. I've got it. Easy. In the core, you see the drone is running on backup power. Disconnect that carefully and you'll be one step closer to a full shutdown. Alright, I believe in you, Nia. Perfectly judged. That was a fun one. Alright, the core has been disabled. Sweet. Now we gotta get into this other area, which that's what we have Seraphim for. Alright, start the action. The other problem I now have is it's pretty much only Seraphim that can do this in this crew. Don't have the supply to stay around here long. Jeez, that's a 50-50. I don't think that's worth taking. I'll do it once. Damn it. Not worth it. Alright, end the cycle. God. You have taken damage to a dice because of stress. When your dice are rolled at the start of the cycle, your stress dictates if they take damage or not. Higher stress means a higher chance of damage. The white mark above the stress bar will tell you which numbers will damage your dice when rolled. Each dice has 3 dice health. If it's depleted, the dice will break and must be repaired to be used normally. Alright, let's see if we can make this our last day here. Okay. You have a 6. Start that action. Start that action. Gotta gamble on a 3. Need to hope you can do this as well. There we go. That's how we do it. Thank you very much, Seraphim. Alright. Hack the broadcast. This is literally just a me thing, apparently. Because they get -2 to both of theirs. Now you're in the broadcast array of the drone. You need to shut it down fast. The simplest way is to put the entire system offline. Give it a shot. Alright, leave. End cycle. This is looking rough. One of your dice is broken due to losing all of its dice health. Broken dice can be repaired at the rig for a cost once the workshop is available. Okay. Alright. Start the action. Hack the broadcast. And just do it one more time and just hope it works. Yes. The interior of the drone lights up in a crimson flash. The thrumming, pulsing interior of the drone goes still for the first time since you boarded it. Look across at Seraphim and Nia and share a smile. They all exhale so loudly it can be heard over the suit's shared comm channel. The drone is dead. One less piece of Conway shit to worry about, Nia grins. We killed it. Don't get too excited, Seraphim cuts in. Looking pretty rough when we got here. Make your way back out to the hull, the drone now faintly rolling in one direction, its stabilizers offline. Nia catches up with you as you glide towards the rig. Make a pretty good crew, sleeper. What will your brother think? Don't go ruin it by bringing him into this, Nia grins. Maybe he'll never find out. We were gone for like 3 days, Nia. What do you mean? You reach the rig's airlock and take one last look at the drone's dark hull. It catches a light as it rolls in the vacuum. At some point in the near future, this drone will likely be smashed to pieces by one of the many asteroids of the belt, spread across this place as twinkling dust. The thought pleases you. As the thought of all that cryo Hexport now owes you. Time to go collect. You can leave via the map. Leave the contract? Yes. -5 stress during travel. After docking at Hexport, Seraphim lets go of the controls and leans back in his chair. Nia leans over to you. Thank you, Sleeper. She stretches. I know you took a chance on me. Hey, glad to have you, Nia. Nia smiles, an infectious smile. Feels good to make a contract work. Seraphim smiles. No matter how we pull it off. It's hard not to agree, and it feels better when the Hexport courier comes with a lockbox full of chits. Lane may still be hunting you, but this should help the effort to slip his net. Suddenly you hear a familiar voice. Nia! Femi glides into view, approaching from the docks. He fixes you with a stare. What are you playing at, Sleeper? Nia wanted to come. You go to speak, but Nia drifts forward, cutting you off. Don't come throwing your weight around, Femi. I can make my own decisions. She glances back at you. Sleeper took me at my word, and I'm grateful. Femi is fuming. Did they now? He turns to you. If you work for Sleeper, I hope they paid you well. Nia looks away. Well, I asked, so... Oh, so they aren't paying you? Seraphim crosses his arm. Let's keep this civil. He realizes the first time he's meeting Femi. Being civil seems like Nia's owed her share. Femi fixes you with a severe look. Yeah, that's no problem. You grab around a quarter of the chits from the lockbox and hold them out to Nia. She takes them sheepishly. Alright then. Femi smiles. We're good here. He turns to leave. Nia mouths a sorry and follows... Burped. Ignore that. Nia mouths a sorry and follows Femi across the docks. Seraphim watches them go. You sure know how to pick 'em, Sleeper. He shakes his head. He turns away and heads back along the docking bridge. I just hope we aren't going to end up a stack of cryo short when we need to get out of here. This completed a drive and earned an upgrade point. You have push upgrades available. Go to the character screen to the right of the UI to see them. Yeah, I can't use any of my things here. So, no dice damage on push roll, or reroll +1 dice. Say reroll +1 dice. That seems useful. I spend 1 stress, I reroll 2 of my lowest dice. Ugh, he's burnt a lot of time though. Good amount of chits. Alright, let's see what the Hexport Canteen does. Oh, damn. Yeah, so they give 4. That's good. So I can either do 13 for 4, or I can do 7 for 2. The canteen is better, but I have to be pretty low to do it. Is there any other contracts available? No. Alright. Alright, well... So we got full cargo, full fuel. Let's see if I can just turn the rest of my dice into some cryo today. And then I think tomorrow we're going to have to go out to the other contract. I don't think that's worth doing. Not for a 1 dice. Actually, necessary to rest, or at least try to, in the compact box of the rig. Recovery failed. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. All right. So we have 8 cycles left before something bad happens when this clock hits 0. End the cycle. Pretty good dice. Alright, there we go. No more stress for me. I do have damaged dice I don't really have any way of fixing at the moment. So I do kind of just have to fuck it, we ball. I'll use my 2 dice just to do some more work, get some more cryo. Alright. Yeah, I don't see any way of making the money that I need by actually working. So we'll end this cycle, we'll have a feed at the canteen, and then we gotta just go off. Make purchase. Leave. Alright. Solheim HS-22. Rusting hulk of a pre-collapsed ship. Confirm the vector. Do I want to take Junie? Because I feel she's up to something nefarious. But her interface skills could be useful, because we've been told we need interface for this. Or we could take Nia and hope that her intuit abilities might help. I'm going to take Junie for this one. Because I think her skills are going to be needed for this. Alright, travel to contract. Confirm the crew. We got full fuel, we got full supplies, we got 5 days out here. The Solheim derelict fills the cockpit windows, all twisted plates and skeletal strutwork. You watched it in horror and fascination as Seraphim completed the approach, both of you silent in the presence of this decaying beast. Now as you settle beside it, Seraphim is the first to break the silence. This thing is already dead, He shakes his head. It's a corpse, sleeper. He nudges the ship closer, looking for a place to dock. I touch this thing too hard, it'll crumble into dust. What were you expecting? I was expecting... Seraphin squints as he adjusts the rig's thrust. A scrap contract, like you said, not a death trap. Take us up there. That's the bridge. Ginny points towards one end of the ship, and both you and Seraphin turn around. Having forgotten she was even in the cockpit. She hasn't said a word since you departed. She glances at both of your bemused faces. What? She looks away. Sorry, that's where I need to go. She stops pointing. Seraphin nods towards Junie. He's not wrong, Sleeper. The bridge would be a good start. Assess the wreck first. Junie settles silently back into her seat. She looks away, out of the cockpit, unsure if she is upset or just embarrassed. Carefully, Seraphin brings the ship close to the derelict and guides it along the hull. The rig's lights ripple over the broken surface, finding gaps and cracks everywhere. It seems remarkable that the derelict is still held together. Shit! Seraphin hisses as a huge spinning piece of debris drifts in front of the cockpit. He pushes the rig down beneath it, squeezing between the debris and the hull. He does so, an ear-splitting screech signals the rig scraping across the derelict's skin. You freeze for a moment, waiting for the breach sirens to sound. But the moment passes and you relax. You glance at Seraphin. His face betrays no emotion. This isn't safe. Seraphin shakes his head. I'm going to find somewhere better to settle the ship. We need to suit up and work our way along the hull on foot. You look back at Junie and see her still in her seat, eyes wide. You okay? Junie looks at you, and there's a sudden unfamiliar hardness in her eyes that surprises you. Then a moment later, it is gone, and her gaze softens. I'm okay. She smiles a flat smile. Don't worry. Seraphin brings the ship away from the derelict's hull an inch at a time, and slowly brings it round to settle close to a mostly intact hull plate. This section is fairly free of debris. He nudges the ship a little closer. Should be good to hold air. Seraphin unclips from his seat, and you and Junie follow suit. As you all glide down towards the airlock, Junie silently follows you. You can't help but feel judged. As you reach the airlock, Seraphin begins suiting up. If we're lucky, that little collision hasn't started a cascade that'll end with this place coming apart under our feet. Seraphin violently kicks his legs into a set of Eva trousers, clearly irritated by his own carelessness. Hey, it wasn't your fault. Seraphin shoots you a look. Fault isn't going to matter when we're floating off into the black. This is a delicate job, Junie says quietly, almost to herself. The data core will be fragile. She casts a furtive glance in the direction of you and Seraphin. Very fragile. Understood. Junie nods appreciatively. The rest of the preparation process takes place in tense silence, each of you considering the delicate job ahead. You suit up too. Though you don't need a helmet to breathe, you slide one on and lock the seals for protection. This wreck isn't going to give up its salvage easily. The core should be near the bridge, maybe even inside it. There's a lot of wreck here. There might be good salvage tucked away in the cargo hold. Once the suits are on, the seals are checked, you cycle the lock and stare out at the vast expanse of the twisted hulk before you. Time to go to work. Alright, the pressurized bay. Roaded airlock. Force to lock. Lock dissection. Alright, we're not dissecting the lock. None of us are engineers. Oh, that's not good. So we've already stressed the ship in entering here. Clear cargo doors. Good call, Sleeper. Yeah. Let's give it a try. 75% of success here. Okay, he's a little stressed, but it worked. You've cleared a passage into the cargo bay. Time to see what's inside. Map the bays. Countless vast bays extend from here, deep into the derelict. Scanning and mapping each one will allow you to navigate them safely. The end of the derelict is partially intact. You can survey it, perhaps you can find some valuable scrap among the decay. I mean, yeah, scrap would be useful. See? I've got it. Through some careful triangulation, a 3D map of the layers of bays is slowly built piece by piece. Might as well. This is going to be worth a lot of money if we can get some scrap out of this. The bays are mapped, and it seems that the deep parts of the ship are in surprisingly good condition. Extract raw scrap. Deep inside the derelict, there are masses of intact scrap. This is valuable material, but it's also what's holding the ship together. Okay. So, we have access to it. We don't need to get into it right now. So now let's get into the airlock. New crisis location active. The contract stress has triggered a crisis. A crisis will add 1 contract stress per cycle unless resolved at the crisis location. I mean, yeah, we don't got like any dice, so... The 3 doesn't make a difference. Damn. Alright. That's all of our dice used. End cycle. I'm down to like 3 dice. My god. All my dice are breaking. Alright. So I need you to try and fix this. This is not my kind of job. Yeah, well, you're doing it, because you got the best dice for it. Are you kidding me? Okay. Let's give this a try, Seraphin. Alright. The rest of the dice we have left just aren't going to work for this. God damn it. Alright, this is something you can actually handle. Alright. Let's do this. End the cycle. I'm not having good luck with these. Alright. Alright, let's finish this with mine. Alright, we have bridge entry. The bridge of the derelict lies silent. The pale beams of your suit lamps catch rows of terminals and clouds of glittering dust. Wires wave like seaweed, and the whole scene appears as if underwater. Chaotic, but still. Junie glides past you, disturbing the dust and taking you by surprise as she does. She's been a stoic presence so far. At this moment, she seems drawn forward by some force of curiosity. You watch as she bats away debris and begins checking terminals. Just let her work. She's already prying an access panel off one of the more intact-looking terminals. As she does, puffs of rust color the vacuum around her red. She turns back to the terminal and finishes prying off the plate. Then quickly she reaches inside, fishing around for something. Her hand comes back out with a waving cable topped with a thick connector. As soon as she sees it, she slips a keyboard-sized deck out from somewhere on her person. She runs her hand across the back until she finds the right port and slots in the connector. All this happens in a few seconds. Routine practice and precise. It's hard not to be impressed. Not your first Solheim ship? She glances at you, a nervous look on her face. Does she think you're accusing her of something? She shakes her head and goes back to her work. Junie's fingers dance across the deck's keyboard, and a burst of static lights up the Solheim terminal screen. A sudden burst of light and color takes you by surprise. Junie's fingers tap away, the terminal screen flashing with blocks of color and lines of code. It buzzes and vibrates, its long-dead systems forced back into chaotic life. Then all at once it goes dark. The terminal is dead. Shit, Junie hisses beneath her breath. Useless. You cannot tell if the insult is directed at the terminal or herself. There are plenty more. She looks up at you, a confused expression on her face, and then scans around the bridge. I suppose, she pauses. Even from here, I can see most of them are less than scrap. The cradle with the data core can't be far. She pushes off from the terminal, gliding away from you. I'll start looking. He calls back and heads to the other side of the bridge. Seraphim glides up beside you. Everything all right? What do you think of Junie? The kid? Seraphim shrugs. You know better than me. Keeps to herself. He squints to her retreating form. Seraphim stretches in his suit. I have to admit, nice to be back working, especially now that we're the ones who will reap the benefits. Claps you on the shoulder. Feels good to be taking our fate in our own hands. I know it's pretty rough there, back on Hexport. Out here, we're just as likely to get shredded by debris as find the damn data core. Aren't you glad we made a break for it? He pauses and looks down, having asked the question almost by accident. I mean, I am. I just don't want to speak for you. I'm glad too. Seraphim smiles. You better be. I didn't give up that little Darkside cupboard I was living in for nothing. He laughs at his own joke. Look, Seraphim checks his suit's wrist seals. Once we got a bit of space behind us, once we've gone the distance, if we even managed to get that far, he furrows his brow. Don't feel you owe me. I'm no charity case. Want us to go our separate ways? Fine by me. Meets your eyes. Just do me the favor of telling me to my face. That won't happen. Seraphim nods, but doesn't respond. After a moment, he shines his torch out into the dark, checking the rows of terminals all across the bridge. You watch the glittering dust as it eddies in the beam. Seraphim sighs. Let's get to it. You watch as he crosses the bridge, his torch probing the dark corners. You feel a chill run through your body as you imagine the people that once ran this ship. The Solheim crew, surely long dead. What was it like here before the collapse, when this system was the jewel in Solheim's crown? It's impossible to know. The history is lost to you now. All you can do is pick what you can from the ruins. Alright, we gotta try and shut down some of these crises before they go insane. Alright. See? I've got it. Security system sparks and shuts off. Won't be troubling you anymore. The hull breach. Yeah, just shut that one down if you don't mind. Breach sealed. Perfect. Alright, what's in here? Track the pathways. Data core location. We need to reboot the system or track the pathways. Rather than hunting old pathways, rebooting selected sections of the ship's systems might reveal the data core's location as it responds. Alright. The dice I have left, I don't think it's worth trying anything else. 75% chance. 75% chance of success in some form or fashion. Fuck it. Okay, perfect. Let's end the cycle, and then we have a rest. Damn, I only have 2 dice left. I really need to find a way to fix myself, because I can't do that yet, and that's becoming a very big problem. Alright. Track the pathways. Right, we've tracked the pathways and rebooted enough of the system. The bridge and data core must be connected, but in a wreck as big as this, tracing the connection is a challenge. Location of the data core is identified. Now extracting is all that remains. Data core cradle. I don't like the look of this. Data core extraction. The core sits in a complex cradle made of many connections. Getting it out intact is a delicate act. The core is barely intact. Any mistake, no matter how small, could render it inoperable, making the contract null and void. Alright. Let's end the cycle. Alright, let's give this a shot. I need to reroll these. God, that was a terrible decision. I don't think I can risk it. I'm gonna have to risk it though. No. Fuck. We won't lose 2 coin flips, right? We lost 2 coin flips. Oh? It started as a creeping dullness, something that drew you further from the world, cycle by cycle. But now this moment of waking is a shifting pain. It jumps across your body faster than you can follow, and you jerk against it. As you do, a numbness starts to spread across your skin. You are sinking into cold water. The pain dances across this numbness, if it was skimming on its surface. But then, as you submerge, it becomes distant. You realize you are leaving this body, frame. Suddenly, something pulses inside you. Some system you have never felt before. As it does, you feel yourself external to your frame, remaining on the surface. You don't feel your limbs or your organs. You barely have your thoughts. You are a pulsing point, a compressed self, flickering out. You see figures, unrecognizable shadows gathering around you. You feel the tug of a single thread binding you to your frame, keeping you from floating away. At the end of that thread, something pulses and glows, and rebuilds itself in a new and more unstable form. Your frame will recover, but it will be changed this cycle. It will bear the weight of keeping you alive. It will break some part of itself, of yourself, so you may persist. You watch as it does and anticipate waking into this newly distorted self. And then you are awake, somehow together, somehow apart, in pain and a little more broken than before. You have gained a permanent glitch. A permanent glitch is represented in red on your glitch clock and will not be expended when rolling a glitch dice. You now have a chance of rolling a glitch dice every cycle. This cannot be fixed. Like I kind of need to take these dice rolls. Damn it! The other two are nowhere near good enough for this, so... Oh? What does a glitch dice do? Ooh. That is not worth it. This is literally our only real shot at this. 25% chance we fully flub this. God damn it! There's a flash and a plume of smoke as the data core leaves the cradle. You and Junie immediately freeze. The smoke disperses evenly in the zero-G environment. A thin haze over the scene. You both know what that means. The contract is a bust. No, no, no! Junie rushes over to the core, turning the large ball, about half your height in diameter, over in her hands. As she does, see the seams are scorched with black marks, and a hole has been burnt through the far side. No, it's blown! The countermeasures! She glances back at you, her eyes bright and intense. It blew it. Countermeasures? Junie doesn't respond, just lets the core drift out of her hands and it spins gently above the cradle. Can we salvage it? Do you know how many of these cores are left intact? Junie's eyes are wet with sadness and frustration. Look at this place, sleeper! She gestures to the cradle room, a dark and twisted cavern of long-dead tech. How many of these places are there? How many chances do we have to recover anything this old, this fragile? Like it or not, we live in Solheim's shadow, in their ruins, yet we know almost nothing. What chance do we have of understanding how we got here when others like them, like Senate Stat and Conway, are descending on this system? We could learn our history and how the system was settled. We could better learn the technology we build our lives on. We could uncover Solheim's crimes and seek to make amends. She meets your eyes. We could see beyond survival towards something else. You never heard Junie speak like this, and you realize what you have taken for nervousness was actually control. This, the person in front of you mourning a data core, is the real Junie. You wanted the core. Sleeper. She takes a deep breath. I want to be honest with you. Junie glances around the cradle, defensively. The Seraphim is at the ship, perhaps working elsewhere. All you know is you are both alone for now. I don't work for Carson. Ow! Drop the bottle on my toe. I don't work for Carson. I wanted to come for the core for the incredible opportunity it presents. She pauses, waiting for your response. You would have taken it. She looks away. I don't know, Sleeper. Yes, perhaps I would have. But I also would have spoken to you, explained myself. Not that it matters now. She glanced at the remains of the core. It's all lost. What's lost? Seraphim glides to the room, a loop tether for the core in his hands. He fried the core. Seraphim pauses, frowning. Looks at the spinning, scorched core. Shit, he hisses. His eyes are closed, his jaw muscles pulsing with anger. Carson set us up, he shakes his head. This is impossible. There's no way. He stops and sighs. He turns to you. What the hell are we gonna do, Sleeper? Junie cuts in. Carson won't come for you if that's what you're worried about. He's ignorant and stubborn, but he isn't vengeful. That is not what we're worried about. Seraphim gives her a pointed look. Explain to Junie. You tell Junie about the feed lines Carson has, about you and Seraphim fleeing something and that you can't run any further without them. Junie nods along, her eyes darting back and forth as if trying to calculate something in her mind. Seraphim glides over to the floating core. He turns in his hands, looking for a solution. Maybe there's something we can use here. There's some components here we can pull out. We can cut it up now, take out the good stuff, and leave it for dead. He sighs. That's all. And that's what we do. Seraphim turns away. No core. Seems to be talking to himself. Okay. We can make this work. He turns back to you. This derelict has to have some scrap of value. We change the contract. Cut this thing till it falls apart. Get enough, we buy that damn thing from Carson. He pauses. Let's do it. There's another way, Junie interrupts. I could help you steal the feed lines. She stares at both of you with determination. We could do it together. Seraphim looks at you with raised eyebrows. Seems he is noticing the change in Junie too. Carson is an idiot. I can hack his security and you can pull them out of there. Seraphim looks tough. She shrugs. He can do it. Don't you work for him? Seraphim looks puzzled. No, she doesn't. Seraphim looks at you. I'm going to catch you up on this latest, Sleeper. What matters is that I can help you. I want to, Junie reassures. Well, Seraphim looks at you both. It might work, or it might get us in even deeper trouble. Call me old-fashioned, but I'd rather buy the feed lines. How about we gather as much scrap as we can? If that isn't enough, maybe then we could talk about stealing. Gives Junie a skeptical look. Yeah, sounds good. You all look at each other in agreement. Okay, Seraphim smiles. Let's cut this thing. You and Seraphim, under Junie's instruction, cut the core open in silence, picking out the few untouched components you find. As you pick through the layers and layers of circuitry, more complex than anything you've ever seen, you wonder what must have been on it. With the core cut and piece of its shell floating around the cradle like a shattered egg, you, Junie, and Seraphim glide out of the cradle, ascending back through the dark passages of the derelict. You look over at Seraphim, his face set in a mask of determination. Perhaps he can save this contract. He is sure as hell going to try. You look at Junie, so slightly thrown off by her change in manner. Can she really be trusted? Either way, you aren't done yet. Contract failed. Well, we'll see if we can cut some scrap out of this thing. I think that's about all we're getting out of this thing, actually. A fuel leak. Yeah, no, we're leaving this thing. The derelict's last surviving fuel reserve has burst and is leaking propellant throughout the ship. It isn't cleaned up fast, things will get dangerous. Well, we cut a bit of scrap, and now we get the fuck out. I think we need to leave this place.